Mary Magdalene as a figure in the Bible is so mythologized, right? The idea that there's not very much in the canonical Gospels, and yet we have all of these ideas and notions, and like, she was Jesus's wife, she was this prostitute. There's so much story around her. There's an interesting thing that happens where all of these women that exist in the Bible are just lumped into one figure, one woman, which I think is interesting and diminishing of the idea that like, oh, well, all women are the same. All of these women in all of these stories must be sexually impure. And if we're talking about the redemption of a prostitute, well, then they're just all basically the same woman. It's like, hang on, that's a weird thing that you're doing. Like, let's think about this. And even if you want to say, like, it's the same archetype or it's the same metaphor, like, sure, maybe. I think the danger with this is that even if people aren't intentionally, like, trying to lump all women together or aren't intentionally trying to say any woman that's depicted as impure in the Bible is automatically sexually impure as well, the idea that it even happens slowly and surely over time is indicative of this undermining nature that happens and this dehumanization that does happen of women. And now, in modern day, even though Mary is the apostle to the apostles, the biggest question about her is if she's Jesus' wife. And it's like,
right.
Does that actually matter? One, there's no proof or evidence of it at all. We see this happen in media all the time where someone gets married and it's like, oh, well, I'm going to talk about them as this person's wife, not as themselves. And when men get married, that very rarely happens unless it's like the woman is extremely famous and they marry a non-celebrity. To look at the canonical figure of Mary Magdalene that discovered the tomb empty and say, but was she married? It's just like,
right.
What are we doing?
Right, absolutely. The early church felt very differently about Mary Magdalene based on these Gnostic Gospels than we did later. This really seems to be because of Pope Gregory the Great, 591 AD, and he's the one who in a famous sermon conflated Mary Magdalene
all of these
with
women.
These other, Mary of Bethany, who's the sister of Martha and Lazarus, so that Mary, as well as the unnamed sinful woman in Luke 7, who bathed Jesus' feet with her tears. And he basically said, these are all one person, from whom 7 devils were ejected. And he went even further, which is where we sort of get this prostitute myth, right? Which is to say she'd use the perfume to perfume her flesh in forbidden acts before repenting. For 1,400 years, basically, Mary Magdalene's been branded as a repentant prostitute. The classic archetype, again, of the redeemed harlot. The hooker with a heart of gold, the pretty woman. I think it's just important to notice that and to call that out.